Hello and good evening, Vision Team. This is Sharon Hyde, National Marketing Director on the team. And we have a treat for you today. It's our team call. We had Bob Burdick as our host, and we had it recorded, and he shared and inspired lots of information with us for about an hour. I had technical difficulties in the very beginning, so we did miss about the first 10 minutes of the call, and I was able to capture the last 40. So I just wanted to tell you a little bit about Bob, and then I'm going to turn it over, and then we'll pick up where Bob joined us. So I met Bob and Sue Burdick 16 years ago. And in our direct sales company, we have mentors, and Bob and Sue Burdick were part of our mentorship team or sponsors. And what I really admire about them is their work ethic, their tenacity, the commitment, the honesty. They're the hardest working people that I know. And over the years in this business, you form friendships and relationships. And Bob and Sue are somebody that I know I can always count on, and they're very inspirational. How they heard about the Juice Plus company is Bob did explain it, but it got cut out in the beginning. So I'll give you the recap, is that he was introduced to the business, or Sue was introduced to the business first, and then Bob came to look at it. And he's a very strong numbers guy. And he saw that there was a leverage opportunity, that if he could work really hard, that he could create some residual income and build a team and create, an opportunity to make a couple $1,000s a month, which was a huge advantage for their family. They were struggling. Both of them were high school dropouts, got married young, had 5 boys. They were living paycheck to paycheck and not knowing what to do or where to go. They had, like many people, had many failed opportunities which affect your self-worth and value. And Sue was really the catalyst on this. She felt like she wanted to give it one more try. And she went to the meeting. She looked at the numbers. She liked what she saw. She said, let me bring Bob back. And Bob came and looked at it. And from then on, they joined the Juice Plus company and started growing and building their team very quickly. One of the secrets that Sue had was that she made her memory jogger list very quickly and made those phone calls. And when buyer's remorse happened the day after they signed up, they had grit. They were willing to say, no, I am going to make this work. And they started calling and setting those appointments and sharing the product and the business with others. They made National Marketing Director in less than a year. I'm thinking it's around 6 or 8 months. It was incredible, the growth that they've had, and they've never looked back. So we've invited Bob to our call today, and where we join the part of the call is where he's talking about the business, and he said we need a plan, we need direction.
You're sharing a vision, all right? But Helen Keller said, what would be worse than being blind? Having sight and no vision, all right? So what I saw was, if I got 2 customers a week on average, I'd add $1,000 a month to my residual income every year. 3 to 5 years, I could make $3,000 to $5,000 a month extra income. All right. And then if I built a team, I know it's not a perfect world. I've been in 35 countries and 49 states throughout my life. All right. So I know the world pretty good. All right. But if I got 5 people who got 5 people 5 deep, and they all did just $100, my 5% money is $19,525 per month. But I also know, this is what most people don't catch. If you get 6 who get 6 5 deep, that jumps to $46,650, more than doubles. If you get 7 who get 7 5 deep, doing $100, it's $98,035 a month. So the difference in long-term income is the effort you put into getting not only a width of your team, but getting them moving, seeing a vision, paying the price. We signed up June 8, 1987, 31 years ago this June. Okay. Unbelievable. And I said when I first got started, if I ever make $10,000 a month, I'm just going to sit on my tail. All right. We started in June, made VF. But not only were we building that structure, we were teaching it. July, we made sales coordinator. My check in August was $10,000. Made Q in September. My next check in September was $30,246. Made NMD in September, promoted 4 NMD lines, 2 NMDs and 1 line. Went to my first conference, October 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 1987, as an NMD with 4 NMD lines with 5 NMDs on my team. I wondered why Jay knew my name when I got there. I couldn't believe people weren't working. Or they were talking to 2 people a week. I mean, there's too much money here, all right? And people literally almost laughed at me for the effort we put in. I saw that what would you do for a short time to get paid forever? I quit school to make $1.70 an hour. I make over $1.70 a minute, 24/7 today. Do the math there, all right? I was showing one of my 5 boys have grown up. Today I have 10 grandsons, 5 granddaughters, 5 great-grandsons, and 4 great-granddaughters. 24 total grandchildren now, okay? I started with 5 lines, okay? Now one of my kids got 6 lines, Levi, he's got 6 kids. One has 3 kids, 3 of them have 2 kids, all right? They all work different, just like your distributors. So I saw the long-term benefit of having the proper structure, leading by example. I heard Ron Blue say, you can't teach what you don't know, you can't know what you don't do, so you must do to know and know to teach. You can't teach me how to fix a transmission if you've never done it. You probably couldn't if you had. All right, so leading by example attracts more people. So people don't like network marketing because network marketers say, Sharon, will you do this, something to make me money that I won't do? They don't word it that way, but they're not leading by example, okay? So rather than, this is what I'm doing, do you want to do it with me? Without being rude to my friends, I'm doing it with or without you. This is my only shot at financial freedom. You're not going to believe this, but the NFL never called me. I know, shocking, right? Worse than that, the NBA didn't either, okay? All right, so again, I tease with people, but I said, again, I'm not going to be a rock star or something like that. This was the average person's only shot at financial freedom. So what would you do? And people ask me, Bob, is this a get-rich-quick scheme? No. Then they sign up and they want to get rich in 24 hours. You can't have it both ways. This is short-term, 3 to 5 years. What we did our first 3 to 5 years, we've earned well over $20 million. Okay, we have a 300-acre place we live on now. We've got other farms and stuff. I own 3 other houses. I'm not trying to brag, but I'm trying to say to all of you, I'm asking you right now, we know when our next 4 conferences are. We got Phoenix in a few weeks, then we got Tampa, then Sacramento, then Austin, Texas. All right? If you build for each one of those events, not only to be there, but to have a large team there and multiple lines. Because when I ask what are the income producing activities, sharing the product, sharing the business, promoting events. I said, I have a financial appetite. Which one creates the most income? Promoting events. I said, I don't understand. If I get a customer, I make a commission. If I get a distributor, they become a customer and make a commission. If I take Sharon to an event, I might have to buy her dinner. Okay. But when people come to an event, especially a conference, what I think happens is what happened to me was I saw other people that I related to, and I said, if they're making money, I can do it. It built my belief in myself. And another thing it showed me was this was going to happen. This just wasn't my sponsor talking to me. Dr. Du Bois and all these other credible people showing you this is a real deal. Okay, and a real product that really affects lives. Again, and not only getting my multiple lines going, I like traveling. When the UK opened a year after we got into business, opened June of '88. one of my buddies knew a friend named James Sanderson in London. We called him. He was interested. We flew to London. He got involved. He's one of our MDs in Europe, built one of my biggest European teams. So we have business in 24 countries throughout the world. Besides having the width of your distributorship, having it diversified geographically helps your business long term as well. So again, I'm game to take any questions you might have.
Okay, so we'll open it up and see if anybody has any questions. What I will say is to tag along with what you were saying, Bob, and what we're teaching on the team is when you talked about having a 3 or 5 year plan, well, we've got to have, you know, DMO, and you and Sue had strong DMO. You talk to people. Go ahead, Bob.
We had a sign on our bathroom mirror that said, "Who did I talk to today?" Underline 2 words, I and today. And we made sure we talked to 2 people about the business and 2 people about the product every day. Now, of course, they all didn't say yes. But again, it's a numbers game. But if I wasn't doing it, my team wasn't going to do it. Right? And if I wasn't doing it, I couldn't teach it. So having that DMO, having a DMO, holding yourself accountable. Again, we had to sign on the bathroom mirror. Who did I, underlined I, talk to today, underlined today? We're all going to do it tomorrow. But who did I talk to today to benefit my family's financial future? And did I have bad days? Did I have bad weeks? Did I have bad months where everybody, the first 425 people I shared the business with in 120 days, 11 said yes. 8 went to work. I got rich. Okay, so, but I went through those numbers, and when I was going through 400 no's, believe me, I was grabbing my sponsor by the throat and said, "Is this really going to work?" Okay. People see Stu and I today, and they think we never had bad days or bad weeks or a massive amount of no's or no shows at events.
Yep. No, that happens to all of us. And but what you're really demonstrating is that burning desire that you had, you know, for your dreams. And yes, as you mentioned earlier, we had audio issues, so part of your story wasn't recorded. But you were definitely saying you had a burning survival, you know, desire for your family.
Yeah, I had to realize that this was my only shot. I was tired of telling my kids everything was too expensive. Most of the things I said, talked about weren't too expensive. I simply couldn't afford them. Last Thursday, okay, this is a whole different world today. One of my grandkids comes to me. We're in Georgia, needs to fly to Elmira, New York with a friend for a bull riding championship. My grandson is a state champion of bull riding. So I bought 2 airline tickets, flew him to Elmira, New York. The same afternoon, another one comes in, needs $1,000 and needs an airline ticket to Seattle. Okay, all right.
Hi, Dad.
I couldn't make this up. Okay, and he builds wind turbines. He's going to a class out there, so I flew him to Seattle. But I feel blessed that I don't want you to think that I spoil everybody, but these are good working kids and all that stuff. But before, even if it was my mom, whoever it was that I needed to help, I couldn't do it because I simply couldn't afford it. It's nice being able to say yes when you want to and you need to. Right. Money doesn't make you a better person. It makes you more of what you already were. Okay, so I'm not saying money is everything, but it's a solution to a lot of problems that we all run into.
Right. And so, Bob, you've covered a lot and you've been very inspiring. And we have some people that are brand new. We have some that have been with us for a long time. And I always encourage everybody between conferences and even now decide to restart their business, to re-energize. And when you talk about a DMO, we always share on the mission-driven model. We have these DMO sheets. And I think that that's a good place to start, printing that sheet and holding yourself accountable.
1 second. I've got a great grandkid screaming downstairs. Let me 1 second. I'm sorry.
Oh, sure. No worries.
Give me a second.
Okay. So I'll just continue. So on the mission-driven model, my friends, is the activity sheets where you can track. Did I follow up with 2 customers today? Did I talk to 2 prospects? Did I, schedule any Zoom calls? What activities do I have planned for the week? So there's different big rocks that you can put into your calendar and really put in 10 hours a week into the business. On Sunday nights, we have a planning meeting from 7 to 7:30 where we talked about what Zooms are, like what team events are coming, what private events are coming. The next shred team Zoom is coming up next week. To have that on the calendar, to be aware of it, to say, oh yeah, that's coming up. I need to start inviting for that activity. And then really keeping track of who you talk to and keeping that fire alive. One thing that Bob said too is they got to NMD that quickly. They had a little bit of a different marketing plan. So you can't today grow your business that quickly. We have a little bit more requirements. But he's showing you that at the top of the marketing plan, they were able to do it with a flurry of activity. And a flurry of activity is not 5 minutes a day or even 20 minutes a day. I mean, it's a conscious commitment. And Bob and Sue are the hardest working people I know, and all that they're doing for their family, they're still here on our team calls, supporting their organization and travel around the world. So Bob, I was just filling in about the DMO and really restarting and keeping track of ourselves, and even 10 hours a week, we can get a lot done.
Right, and don't lie to yourself. That was one of the big things I got from Jeff too. And Terry Bush lets me use her story. All right, talking about restarting yourself. She was in the business like 12 years, and she was a 2 or 3 club. Okay, and she called me one day and said, what's going to happen? I said, you've got to have a DMO, daily method of operation. You got to have a goal and a plan. I'm going to share the product with this many people every day. I'm going to promote this many events each week. I'm going to, and I forced myself to go to the events, even if I didn't have guests. That inspired me to guess, so I wouldn't be there by myself. All right. So, and I held myself accountable. But I said, Terry Bush, I said, you can restart. I said, just when you go out, say, hey, and she was telling the truth. She really treated it more like a social event than a business at first. Mm-hmm. And I said, tell your friends, tell the people you meet, I'm relaunching my business. I said, now the first month or 2, people aren't going to believe you. But if you keep it up, it'll work. A year later, she was 39 Club. Then she went on to 100 Club and stuff like that. All right. So sooner or later, you got to draw a line in the sand and say, it's up to me. All right. When I first got involved, I was telling what Jeff had done and Dave had done, and, but people were more interested in what I did. Okay. If I made $1,000, it impressed them more than my sponsor making 10,000 because they knew me. All right. So, but if you're not doing the activity, how can you expect some? Then you're telling somebody, will you do this for me to make me money? I don't want to do it. All right. People hear your actions more than your words. Again, what would you do for the next 2, 3, or 5 years to create income forever? Our top spot that's in my name, all right, we built in 1987. It's got hundreds of qualifiers. And I haven't worked on it since and I work with the team, but we haven't added distributors to it since 1987, 31 years ago. All right, so that, what I'm saying, and that one spot pays more than most people's. If the husband and wife, they have multiple spots, it pays more than any 4 of them, okay? All right, because we built it right from the beginning. You need 6 or 7 working lines. And my favorite question to people is, who's your 3rd strongest line? One of my 100 Club lines was turned around and asked me at conference. She's a West Coast distributor. I said, you're my 4th. Okay. That's a fact. Okay. I have 200 club members frontline to me. Okay. So I'm not trying to brag or show off. I'm just saying, trying to emphasize that would you go to the gym and work out for 3 to 5 years to stay perfect shape the rest of your life?
Most people would.
Right. But,
Yeah.
but some want to do it for 30 days to stay in shape the rest of their life. But it would be sure worth it. What I'm saying is, what you're going to do, this is going to happen anyway. Okay. And we're doing a big call. I have 170 NMDs, I think. I'm doing a call with the NMDs in another week to doing a cash giveaway for the Tampa conference. And building structure is going to be a big part of winning the prizes in Tampa. Okay, so doing the activity to instill your long-term income, your unlimited income, could also win you some of this money coming up in Tampa as well.
Yeah. So what we'll do is we'll give you, I mean, we know that we're going to have a contest, and a lot of our seasoned distributors know that it's fun, it's exciting, and you could win $5,000 cash, you could win $2,000. I mean, you can win a lot of money, and many on our team have. So, and I'm going to just let everybody know, because they've got a little heads up. April counts. So every customer.
April counts.
April counts.
And we're gonna be putting this out here. If you get 5 customers in a month, and we got it broken down to Juice Plus is a customer, Omegas is a customer, Vineyards a customer, Tower Gardens is 2 customers. Okay, so if somebody's buying all of it, you still counts as more than 1 customer. Getting a new qualified line, getting a new 3-club line, getting a new 12-club line, getting a fast track. We have several ways you can get your name in the hat. And again, the top prize will be $5,000, it'll be a $2,500, it'll be a $2,000, it'll be a $1,750, be multiple $1,000 prizes, multiple $500 prizes, and stuff like that, 250s. But again, what I try to instill in people is, this is going to happen with or without you. You quit lying to yourself was one of the best things Roberto told me. I always had worked hard, but I was doing the wrong activity to create long-term income. I was doing the wrong activity for residual income. You know, I was hanging sheetrock. The days you don't work, you don't get paid. Okay, not that I didn't work hard, but you know, and I enjoyed construction back then, but it had no residual income and no consistent income because of the economy and stuff, right? Again, the company's nearly 50 years old, never missed a payday. And at the top position, you get corporate benefits. On top of your income, you get soon I get $6,000 extra a month on top of our income. Unbelievable, right? Bib money. So giving the people the reason to go 5 working lines wide. Okay, takes 5 lines to make NMD. It takes 5 lines to get paid 5 deep. It takes 5 lines to be self-qualified. At my first meeting, back when I started, the performance bonus was 3%. Because people said, as the marketing plan changed, they raised it to 5%. Screwed me on my taxes, raising my income that much. I paid more income tax in 2016 than I made in probably 7 years as a carpenter. And was glad to do it.
And that's a great success story, you know, because so many times people think, oh, I can't do this, or, oh, this is too hard. But I try to tell the team, all of us have the same marketing plan. We have the same product. We have the same opportunity. The only variable is ourselves. And like you're saying, you know, a lot of times we lie to ourselves. I've told myself many lies. And one of the programs that the company has brought is the Brene Brown, the Brave Leaders. Now, a lot of people on our team aren't able to participate in that, but starting tomorrow, Bob, we're having the Rising Strong Brene Brown book club, where we're talking about rising strong in our business and going forth. So many people on the call are joining that, and they're going to be really, you know, digging into some personal growth, which is to fuel the activities. 'Cause-
Right. Uh, I didn't read my first book until I was 17. All right. I've only read 38 books. Okay. And I'll be 72 years old in May. So, all right. So I'm not a big reader. I never spoke in front of a class. I was way too shy. It amazes me that I've spoken so many meetings and events for the Juice Plus company. I mean, never in a million years I think I would do that. The first meeting I had to do, I had just gotten that $10,000 check in August of '87, and I was asked to do a presentation. I got up in front of the room, I had my notes in my hand, I said, this is the company was 17 years old then, 17 years old, and I set my notes down and left the building, okay, and walked right out of the meeting. I was way too shy. So you can change over time, but personal growth, reading personal growth books is what helped me. I listened to CDs, or back then it was 8 tracks and stuff. Jim Rohn is my all-time favorite, and reading John Maxwell and stuff like that. Reading self-help books and listening to them on CD, I think it helps you see a better picture of yourself. So working on yourself through personal growth, doing the activities, leading by example, okay? And like I tell people, Hank Aaron beat Babe Ruth's strikeout record before he beat his home run record. People don't realize that Babe Ruth had the strikeout record, that Hank Aaron beat it. But then he beat the home run. So people don't realize that people like myself have gotten thousands of no's. But I didn't worry about it. I'm not trying to convince the whole world. I'm just sharing something with somebody. If they see it, great. If they don't, great. And then moving on and going to somebody else, and not losing your belief because somebody else doesn't buy in. Okay, and I played tricks on myself. When I'm pitching the waitress, and she tells great personality, fun, great worker, be great at the business. Everybody's not gonna. If she says no, I say at least every time I come here, I'm gonna have that good waitress. If she got in the business, I would lose that. I had to mentally play tricks on myself, and family members. My brother, I've got one brother left. He was born 1959. He's 58 years old, I think. Last February, a year ago, he was never bought the product, never took the product. He's my mom's third husband's son. Okay, I used to babysit him when I was a teenager. All right, was diagnosed with cancer. He put a picture on Facebook. He had a long beard. He had it half shaved off, and he had a razor in his hand with half the beard gone. He said, "Problems, not court," because you always shave to go to court, you know. And he said, "Cancer." And I contacted him. He'd went to the doctor with an earache, and he had cancer between his hearing and his sinus cavity. I called Dr. Du Bois about it, and got him. I said, his name's Guy. Guy, I don't need another customer. Financially, I don't need another customer. Okay, but I said, you know, I can't believe out of everybody I got on Juice Plus all over the world, my own dang brother, but he's healthier today. He's whipped it now, a little over a year ago. He's been on Juice Plus ever since. I said, I can't believe it took a cancer scare to get you to take this product, but it's changed his life now.
Yeah.
So you're not going to get everybody.
Right. I was going to say, you have to meet people where they're at and just not judge them or be mad or berate them or be the Juice Plus Nazi.
Because they could change your mind next week, and you don't want them to sign up with somebody else. Okay, so again, if somebody says no on the business or the product, leave their respect there. Okay, because again, several people that I have on my team today told me no 2 or 3 years before they got in. Sue and I were down in Fort Myers, Florida, on the Ritz-Carlton, celebrating one of our wedding anniversaries, when a person we invited our first month in the business, this was a couple years later, called us and said, I'm coming to the Ritz-Carlton, you're signing me up and training me. And Sue said, it's our wedding anniversary. I said, I'm getting a new frontline sales coordinator for your anniversary.
Happy anniversary, dear.
He was in front, I couldn't tell him no, okay? So by not burning the bridge, about 3 years later, this fellow got into business. Okay, so don't burn the bridge. Everybody's not, you didn't see it always right away. They're not gonna see it right away,
Yeah.
all right? Be yourself, massive activity. I can't stress the leading by example, setting the pace, sharing the product, being prepared all the time. I like the new business cards. Let me get my wallet out here. Where it's got, can you see it there?
No, I can't. Up higher. There you go. A little higher. Yep, there you go. Oh, yeah.
Okay, and on the other side, see, it's got the Tower Garden.
Perfect.
When you share the Tower Garden story, handing them business card, they have a visual there of what the Tower Garden is. So these are new through Juice Plus Promotions. So I saw them the other day. I got a note from them, so I ordered a bunch of them and handing these. I always have business cards with me. So I have my Tower Garden website on one side and my Juice Plus on the other side. And again, people have a better visual. You know what's worse than being blind, sight, and no vision. They see the Tower Garden better here than just you're talking about it or giving them a paper with no picture.
Oh.
So being prepared all the time and not prejudging. Some of the people I got in my business, myself, Jay Martin's used me from the stage about not prejudging. He said even Bob Burdick made it. Again, when I joined the business, I still had the beard and I was still a biker back then. People don't realize that the outlaw motorcycle are groups are businesses disguised as gangs. They're in sales too.
Yes, they're selling.
A consumable.
Yeah, and one other thing too is like what Bob's saying is, how about people who were your customers if you've been here for a while, last year or 2 years or 5, maybe they weren't a good committed customer, maybe their life changed, go back and re-invite them to an event. We have lots of events on Facebook. You can create events in your home, parties, whatever it is. Get really creative and it's that flurry of activity that's really contagious. And I went to get my car fixed today and I had no idea people were watching me. I'm in there it's Monday morning, hello. I'm just working away. And when I was all done, I looked over and he waved to me and I came over and he goes, man, you're just working really hard. I go, well, it's Monday. I'm in my flip-flops and I go, yeah, I can work wherever I am, but I'm working. And next thing you know, he's like, hey, what are you doing? We started talking and, him and his wife just quit smoking and they're very interested. So you just never know. If I was there just not doing anything, living life, we might not have had that conversation.
One of the things I share about Juice Plus was not only the benefit of the product, but it was a catalyst to changing my diet. So not only did the product help me, the changes it helped me make benefited me tremendously. I haven't had a soda, Coke, or Pepsi in close to 20 years. Not even a taste of one. And I made 2 simple changes. When they said drink more water and don't drink soda, I used to drink Scotch and Coke. I switched to Scotch and water, so I know I get plenty of water every day.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Now I'm looking at the clock and I just wanted to make sure, did anybody have a question for Bob? Yes, Dorothy? Go ahead.
I don't get people to say no. They kind of they keep putting me off. Like something comes up.
About an event
There are more excuses that, oh, I can't do it right now. But they're not saying no. They don't want the product or am I not being definitive enough?
Lots of those people, I have to tell them, let me know when you're ready. And I've got to move on. I hate it. My brother, different family members to me are some of the hardest. Okay. But if I don't move on, I'm not going to affect more lives. I'm not going to affect my family's life with a bigger check.
Yeah.
Okay, I would like to save all my friends. I've got friends that an extra $500 or $1,000 or $2,000 a month would be huge change their life, but they simply don't see it, and I have to move on. That's the best way. That every now and then one will call me and say, Bob, I should have listened to you years ago, but I hated it, but I had to let these people go. And I've got my youngest brother-in-law, Sue's youngest brother, Dave. He's 63. All right, he's retiring from teaching school this year. All right, and he's got the best personality in the world. He knows everybody and doesn't do the business, and he takes the product. Okay, but if I could get frustrated over that and spend all my time trying to convince him, and it's just not going to happen. When the time's right, he'll pop in. And now that he's retiring, he's got a motorhome. He's going to travel the country and all that stuff. I said, wherever you met people, I could hook you up with somebody to help with that new team member. But he doesn't see it. You got to move on. The hardest word in this business, next.
Yeah. Yeah. So Dorothy, also, I was going to say, Dorothy, I also wanted to say was when we follow the DMO, like the two people a day, 5 days a week, or one person every day, you're talking to 30 to 40 people in a month. So in 2 months, now we're talking 60 to 80. You don't even notice the people that put you off. And you're like, yeah, okay, I got too much going on. And then eventually, you keep a list of it, but they start watching you like, ooh, she's talking to a lot of people. What makes it really hard is if we've only talked to 1 or 2 people for the whole month and we're clinging on a yes. And so it's that flurry of activity of really at least, when we say 10 people a week, there's 4 weeks in a month, it's 40 people in the pipeline that you've connected with.
And maybe sounds like a yes, but it's most likely a no.
Right. The put off is I'm not really the put off when people are kind of not committed. Usually it's a priority. It's a priority. Like what we're doing is we're not a priority.
My brother was diagnosed with cancer before he got on the product, and that was just a little over a year ago. All these years I'm just I've got 24 healthy grandchildren, my boys and my daughter-in-laws and all that stuff, and I just never could get them. But when the time is right, they'll step up. But some of them will never catch on, and I hate it. But if you don't move on, they'll drag you down with them. And you won't be able to affect more lives if you don't keep moving. But to me, again, you got to commit to leading by example, sharing the product every day, sharing the business every day, promoting all the events in a reasonable distance of your home. Mm-hmm. And now that you know where the conferences are, after Phoenix, Tampa, Sacramento, Austin, I would have a list of those events in those 3 areas. And a good way to start a conversation is, who do you know in Tampa? Why? I'm expanding my business there. If you started building a team in Tampa right now, by October, do you think those people would show up at the conference? All they got to do is drive across town. They don't have to buy an airplane ticket. They don't have to rent a hotel room. They're right there. All right. What about Austin? Austin, Texas, 18 months from now. If you started building a team there right now, what about Sacramento a year from now? Okay. There's the psychology and a strategy to things. Okay. So knowing where these events are, okay, start building. It's just who do you know in Tampa? I don't know anybody. Do you need? I'm expanding my business there. Do you need anybody in Birmingham? Matter of fact, I do. Wherever they say. Okay, but it's just a way. But again, I tell people, if you build a team where the upcoming conferences are, getting people to events is the #1 income producing activities. Conferences are the biggest event. So again, that's just a good way to start a conversation, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And then creating a lot of those smaller events. Well, Bob, thank you so much for being here with us today. We went a little over, but it was definitely worth it. And thank you guys for staying here. Many of us are coming to conference, so we will see you in Phoenix. And I wanted to let everybody know all the customers you're getting now, all the activity you're doing, all the points count. So just know that, you know, building your business now, you'll get your name in the basket.
Right.
I'm sending you a personal invitation, Bob and I and Sue, are to come to Tampa with us. It's in driving distance for me. So you know we're going to look out a good, yes, and build it. And who can we bring? We have from now until then to just have a lot of excitement. There's a lot.
I'd work on all three of those future conference sites: Sacramento, Austin, and Tampa.
Yeah,
it just gives a way to opening the conversation.
Exactly. And Philadelphia is coming up this summer. There's only 1,000 people that are going to be at the Philadelphia Summit. We have a lot of team on the East Coast. So if you're nearby, we've got a good group of people going there. So don't procrastinate that. Just see if you can put that in there. And those are those things that fuel you to keep you going and get that momentum. And people see you. If you're shiny and happy and you've got momentum going, people see that. They want to be part of it. So it's our job to keep ourselves motivated so that people want to be with us. If we're nobody wants to be with that.
Right.
So,
and to me, again, selling a long-term vision, like the life we have today compared to 31 years ago when I was in a rented house and all that, I mean, never in a million years did I think we'd earn the income we're earning today. But anything's possible here if you lead by example, understand structure. You're not only getting customers and following up, but you're building the proper structure and teaching that to your team.
Yes, and that's to qualify businesses, to qualify a business and to teach a qualified.
I have 200 club members frontline to me now. I have over 200 qualifiers. Okay, I'm not bragging. I'm just trying to tell you that there's no limit here. Okay, I mean it boggles my mind each month. Okay.
So awesome. Well, thank you so much, Bob, for being here. Give Sue a big hug for us. And I will. I did record portion of it. We had computer issues. The audio wouldn't connect until we maneuvered things. So we came in about 10 minutes in with the audio. So that's why it's important to be at an event live. You don't miss anything.
Glad I didn't miss this one.
Putting together, Sharon.
What, Bob?
I said, thanks everybody for being here and thank you for putting it together.
Oh, absolutely. This team, we're here every week at this time from 8 to 8:30. So we were a little late today, but thank you, everybody. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Good night.